Hello, welcome to another episode of the Club World Cup journey. We're back again talking about Group E. I think when it comes to this group, for me in particular, I feel like this group was it was a weird one. It did start off interesting. It started off real interesting. Um I feel like the results in the second game week, I don't think they were the perfect results. I think certain teams would be unlucky. I think for one, Urawa Reds are very unlucky to be out at this point. They had a good start, a lovely finish from Watanabe to start their game off, and even though it was against the runner play, I commend some of the defending that they did. For majority of the game, they were able to keep Inter Milan out, but football's never like a game where it's not 45, 60, 70 minutes. It's a 90-minute game, and for the most part, they got the lead early. They were defensively dogged. Their fans were passionate as always. I think for me, I feel like they were one of the best fans in the tournament. The atmosphere that was in the game was electric, considering, and I think the fans pushed them to at least give them the opportunity, the chance. On the other hand, I would say Inter Milan were very poor for the most part in the first half. They did have some chances, but I feel like their finishing was less to be desired. As one of the, I think they're one of the worst European teams coming out of this tournament, and yeah, just very fortunate to get away, not to get away, but to come in the last couple minutes to get the win. Obviously, they kept prodding and prodding, and then it took a corner where Lautaro Martinez had a decent finish, and then right at the end, Carboni in the 92nd minute won them the game. But I feel like for me personally, I feel like when it comes to Inter, I just feel even though they controlled the game for the most part and had high levels of possession, I felt that the even with that, I think they didn't make a lot of chances, not many shots on target. Overall, I think they struggled to break down the Urawa Reds, and that's crazy to think in a tournament like this, like a big European team that made it to the Champions League final, that was on for a treble, that didn't make it to, didn't do well enough against this team, Urawa Reds. Are they a Japanese team? Let me double check. I think they're Japanese. Urawa Reds, yeah, Japanese club. And it was a respectable score in the end of the day. I just think for Inter going forward, I don't think they make it past the round of 16, depending on who their opponent is in the next round. And I think they need to make a lot of changes to their club. I think they're a very aging team. They're old. You can see that they don't have the. You can see that they've had a long season. I would say that you can see they've had the long season. They were fortunate to come away with the win in the end. You could see they were very lethargic at times. You could see that even though they kept possession, they didn't really do much with it. I expected a bit more from their midfield. They do have some quality players, but I just expected a bit more from them in totality, really. Outside of that, in the other game was just passion v passion. I think the Argentinian team of River Plate versus the Mexican team of Monterrey. It probably isn't one of the best games you'll ever watch, but one thing I will say is that this, even with the lack of possession, I think River Plate had the better of the chances. I think if they had their finishing boots on, they would have probably walked away with the win. But I think this game was everything that that South Central Northern American football is. It's just passion, it's desire, it's the willingness to do the extra bits just to get the result. I mean, it kind of spilled over a little. The River Plate got a player sent off in the 91st minute in Castano, but I feel like with the this game for me, what was interesting was seeing when River Plate is the dominant force, how difficult they found it to beat Monterrey, and I feel like Monterrey has given themselves a chance to make it to the next round if they win their next game. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes to the last couple games of this group. Um, Let me double check who's facing who in the last day. Do, 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 do. Into River Plate. Ural Reds Monterrey. So if Monterrey get a decent win against Ural Reds, and one of the Inter Milan or River Plate lose, which for me personally, I feel like River Plate might take it. I think River Plate might finish the group top, and I think if Ural Reds get a good, or no, I mean Monterrey. If Monterrey get a good results against the Ural Reds, get a win, then we may see another European team come out this tournament. And at the start of this tournament, a lot of people were mocking it, but you can see that the European teams aren't doing as great as people expected. They're losing left, right, and centre. Obviously, coming after a long season, you can see that they don't have the same energy as some of these South American teams, some of these African teams, some of these other teams, and they don't. And I think the levels of seriousness of taking this tournament as at face value, I think it means more to other teams. You could see the level of desire, the passion that not only the teams have, but the fans. You can see the fan bases that have come out to these games. Every time I look at a South American team, Mexican, Japanese, like some of these, even that African team, the fans are always crazy, bring an atmosphere, and that's what I like. I like when the fans go to a tournament like this and treat it like it's meant to be treated, like the big tournament it is. I expected a bit more from some of these European clubs, including my own. And yeah, I think just Inter Milan in general has been disappointing, considering they were one of the best teams in Europe last year. Obviously, they were unfortunate to not complete the treble that they could have completed. They've lost their manager as well. You can see that they lack identity as a team. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens at the end if they come short and maybe even fall out the group because Monterrey beats Urawa Reds. Urawa Reds. I keep get I keep getting distracted by that team name, but yeah, no. If Monterrey get the win, if River Plate get the win, then we may see Inter Milan out of this tournament, and I'll be very interested to see if that happens. It's going to be very difficult. That the Inter River Plate game is going to be a fun watch. I think it's probably going to be one of the better games, one of the better last match day games as well. I think for me, and for the most part, only one South American side has lost. So, be interesting to see what happens in that game. But yeah, not much else to say apart from that. That's been Group E about a part of this Club World Cup journey. And yeah, I do, and you know what? I do hope the South American and the Mexican team goes through. I think it'll be very interesting. Need, I think Inter Milan need the rest. To be honest, I feel like they need a rest, to refresh. They need to rebuild their team, maybe get a new manager, because I don't think they're it right now. But they'll be fine in the future. Anyway, it's been the Club World Cup journey, Group E, and I'm out. Peace.